And now welcome back inside the Collins Arena as we get set for the men's national championship game in the Region 19 right here on Brookdale TV. Brian Goudsford, Tim Kettlefamo back here with you as Middlesex will take on Union. Middlesex toured through the regular season, a record of 26-4 during the year, and 2 wins so far in the tournament have brought them here to the championship where they're seeking their first crown, their second crown, I should say, in program history. Union, more improbable story, overcoming early struggles, now winners of 15 of their last 18 games overall. And Tim, we'll start with Middlesex because this was a team that last year finished under 500, but they made some changes, made a coaching change, elevated David Turco up from the high school ranks, and 1 year later, here they are on the doorstep of a national title.
Well, I think you kind of alluded to.
Region title.
I think you kind of alluded to. I think the reason why Middlesex has been able to turn around has been because of David Turco. He came in after 21 successful years as a high school basketball coach, very highly regarded within the area. And not only is he highly regarded, but he was playing inside the Greater Middlesex Conference in high school basketball. So therefore, Middlesex County College is a great fit for him because not only for the recruiting aspect of it, but just because he knows a lot of the people in this area. So I think it really was a good fit, and I think Middlesex certainly for sure this season has had a complete turnaround season primarily because of the coaching change.
And the starting lineups appearing on our screen. There they are for the Union Owls. A starting lineup, it's identical to yesterday, and they'll go with Jordan Rowley, Naquan McCombs, Tyheem Burno, Trevon Bleasdell, and Jason O'Calley. As they're being introduced in front of us as we speak right now. And let's talk a little bit about that game we saw last night, the 1-point triumph as they knocked off number 1 Rowan Gloucester. So impressive in what they were able to do, matching the up-tempo styles between the two teams, and Union surviving so many late shots that the Roadrunners hit and squeaking by with a 1-point win.
Yeah, it just seemed like for Union, every time that they would kind of almost in a way eliminate the Roadrunners, they would come back down the other end of the floor and make a 3, and they just would not go away. But I tell you what, Brian, out of all the teams that are right now in this tournament, and we even said this yesterday when we were looking at the semifinals, Union, I feel, is playing the best basketball that they have ever played in a long time, and certainly, in my opinion, the best basketball of all these teams in the tournament. So even though they had the struggles earlier on in the season, obviously with the ineligible players and the forfeiting of those games, which was unfortunate, the streak that they went on, the 15 of the last 18 games, winning them, that gives them confidence, and the way that they're playing right now, they're really hard to beat. So even though Middlesex on paper may be the favorite, you really have to watch out for Union because they have size and they have athleticism that are really key in a matchup like this.
And then for Middlesex, we observed the game yesterday against Cumberland. It was not a sharp performance for the Blue Colts. They know they have to be better, and they're going to be tasked with trying to keep up with Union, who just moves the ball so quickly on offense.
Yeah, Union's very quick. They push the ball up the floor. We are used to seeing that when we're here for the regular season from Brookdale, but Union is a team that does the exact same thing. They really play very well. They can push the tempo, and they have the ability to be able to do that. So for Middlesex, if I'm Coach Turco, I'm going to try to somehow slow the game down, make sure that my team gets off to a good start, yes, but somehow slow this game down so we don't get into a back and forth between Union and our team, because I don't know if Middlesex has the capability to be able to go with that pace.
And we are ready to go, region championship style underway. As Middlesex controls the opening tip in their starting lineup, which we neglected to give you, is Latrell West, Cameron Santil, Deontay Crawford, Elmer Rivera, and Akeem Raines. Blue Colts open up with the basketball. This is Raines. The new insert to the starting lineup didn't start in the game yesterday. Crawford in some trouble. Shot clock's down to 5. Rivera pulls up and hits. First points on the board belong to Middlesex. Trevon Bleasdell thought about it. He loves to shoot the 3. Union, the overall record, under 500 during the regular season, 15-17, but they don't care about that because here they are in the region championship. The miss by Burno, picked up by Rivera.
Yeah, just not a very good way to start for Union. not really the best shot by Berno. I know that he played very well yesterday, but you got to get that ball inside and try to work the ball around the perimeter a little bit more than that.
Inside for Crawford to adjust, but couldn't get it to fall and rally the rebound. Myquan McCombs running the point. Bleasdale fakes into the lane, finds O'Calley, and he banks it in.
And O'Calley had a great game yesterday. He's a big body inside at 6'9". He's got the athleticism. Look for Union to feed it to him early on in this game.
Tied at 2. Rains way outside. Crawford on the perimeter. 12 to shoot. And tip, and Bleasdale gets to it for the steal. He's going in, it's blocked! And then West throws it off Rowley.
And how about West and the rest of the Middlesex County Colts coming down the floor and getting back on defense? And then you see the athletic play made by West, having the frame of mind to spike it off of one of the Union County players so it goes out of bounds back to his team.
Now about 2 minutes gone by. Rains the handle. Rivera driving and kicking. Work it around, and Crawford, he fires. He drills it. Deontay Crawford from long range.
Yeah, Crawford can shoot it from behind the arc. He averages 49% when he takes shots from behind the three-point line, so he's a sharp shooter, and we saw him in yesterday's game really heat up from around the floor.
Bleasdale, that may have been blocked. There's a foul underneath the basket, and it's going in the other direction. It's on the Union Owls. It's the game's first.
Well, so far for Middlesex, I know we're very early on, Brian, but from what I've seen, I think you have to be pretty happy if you're Coach Turco, because you avoided the hyped-up energy that Union County brings to the floor, in a sense where if Union County was able to get off to a very strong start and put several points on the board, you would find yourself in a position where you're trying to keep up with them. That has not happened. They've been able to control the pace of this game so far.
As Crawford has his shot rejected emphatically by O'Calley. That's worth a second look. Got it with the left hand. 15 to shoot. Blue Colts to inbound it. It's West. West, catch and fire. Doesn't go. O'Calley flips it in. He kept it in bounds for the save. Out of the floor is Bleasdale for the bucket. Trevon Bleasdale, one of the impressive guards Union has a plethora of on the roster. He averages just under 13 points a game. Here is Rains going glass for 2. Strong move to the basket.
And Alkeem Rains worked his way into the starting rotation after yesterday's game, played very well, was very strong and dominant coming off of the bench. So I'm not surprised that Coach Turco put him in the starting rotation. He's a very talented player.
Bleasdale is open. His 3 is good. You can't allow him that much space. He will burn you. Shooting 35% from behind the arc. The game tied up at 7. Crawford made one from deep earlier. Rains a fake. Steps back. Rivera, his three-pointer off the rim. And going to Union. Union, the number 4 seed overall. And that's high praise considering the overall record was under 500. Bleasdale not that time. O'Calley can't put it home. Another offensive rebound. Rowley missed it. Still it's loose and finally scooped up by Crawford.
And I know that Middlesex was able to corral that rebound, but you just see the sheer size and athleticism of Union County inside between Rowley, O'Calley, and Simmons. They really play very well. They're very tight and hard to defend when that shot goes up.
Oh, Deontay Crawford is feeling it. He's got a couple threes, and at 6'6", he poses matchup problems. That's Rowley inside, and he was found down near the basket for the easy 2. About 5 minutes gone in the Region 19 championship game. Middlesex by 1. Rains hangs in the air, misses. Tippin by West, no good. Ripped away for the rebound by Rowley. And then Rains fired it back in. Loose all over the place. And staying with the Blue Colts, who applaud.
And so far we're seeing Middlesex with some energy. We really didn't see too much of that against Cumberland. I know that they had a dominating win, but they were not all that strong throughout the majority of that game. And that was something that Coach Turco told me pregame. He wasn't all that thrilled with his team's performance. They got the win, yes, but he was hoping for a much better performance in today's matchup.
Rivera connects. Foul line extended, his second field goal. Middlesex up 3. Union not moving with the same gusto that they did early on in the game last night. The matchup with Rowan Gloucester. 10 to shoot here for the Owls. McCombs using the O'Callaghan screen. Burno gets into the paint. Down to 3 to shoot. And picked up by Rivera from Middlesex. He starts the break. Rivera all the way for the layup.
And you're just seeing Middlesex, you mentioned it a moment ago, Union doesn't seem to have the same energy that they did in yesterday's game.
Burno, a flat three-pointer, picked up by Crawford. Middlesex off to the good start. Number 2 seed in the region this year. Rivera off the rim, no. And back the other way is Burno. McCombs up the floor. McCombs for Rowley, who missed the dunk. Rowley missed a dunk yesterday, too. Wide open look for Rains. Couldn't get it to fall, and Rowley corrals the rebound.
And sometimes, I know you want to go for the dunk, but you got to finish first and get the points. That's just a miscommunication and an unfortunate error there for Union.
Bleasdale unable to hit. It's out of bounds. Blue Colts basketball. Middlesex overall is winners of 9 in a row. That's David Turco's group. He has transformed this program from last year, a losing season. And this year, the number 2 seed in the region. There's a whistle and a foul away from the ball. And Union will pick up number 2. That was an issue for the Owls yesterday against Rowan. They racked up the fouls in a hurry.
Yeah, they did, and that really didn't affect them too much in the game, but it didn't help matters down the stretch. So that was nearly a backcourt violation, actually, on Middlesex. But I'm surprised early on that we're not seeing Middlesex attack the rim as much to try to take advantage of the fact that Union is prone to committing a lot of fouls. They're taking a lot of perimeter shots.
Rains can't get it to fall. Rebound Bleasdale. McCombs pushing the tempo. Swing it back out. Bleasdale catching fire. He drills it. Trevon Bleasdale. It's a 3. West all the way. Bank shot goes. Latrell West is tough to stop. 16-12, about 8 minutes elapsed.
McCombs is playing with one shoe that's untied right now.
Burno, a floater off the rim, slapped out of bounds off Rowley. And there we see Jerry Henderson and the job he's done to keep his team afloat. I mean, this was a year that could have crumbled for Union when they looked up at the record and saw what it was, but instead they realized there was still plenty of season left, plenty of time to get things turned around, and they were able to do just that, as that is a travel on Rivera.
Well, it's just a testament to how good the team was to begin with, because really in reality, those ineligibilities didn't affect the play on the court that much. It was just more of a regulation thing that Union County got in front of and took care of, but it really didn't necessarily change the play on the floor. Union still was that good of a team, so we knew that they were good. It's just a matter of whether or not they were going to be able to win enough games to make qualifying for the tournament, and they did.
Marvelous Akingbala has checked in. McCombs comes up short. And it's rebounded by Crawford.
Yeah, that's just not a great shot. I know that McCombs likes to shoot those threes, but early on in the shot clock like that with not a whole lot of passing, defense doesn't get a chance to really work too much. You got to move that ball around a little bit more.
Crawford top of the key. And West is fouled. Reaching in was Akingbala. And that's his first and the team's third. Inbounded for Crawford. Jab step. Throw it inside. And they wave it off. It's a travel on St. Teal. Looked like he went up and down there. Didn't get a shot off.
You know, these are opportunities that Middlesex is leaving on the table. Union is a team that can score a lot of points very fast. Middlesex doesn't necessarily have that ability in their team. They can score points, but they can't put them up in record-setting time. So if you're Middlesex, you have to be a little bit concerned. You're leaving this amount of opportunities on the table. With only up by 4, you're keeping the door wide open for Union.
Raines is tied up. And the possession arrow says Owl basketball as they make a substitution into the game now is Jared Simmons.
And that's 2 straight travels now on, or 2 straight turnovers, I should say, on Middlesex County. Giving the ball back over to the Owls.
Quickly is Burno for Simmons. Missed it on the inside, knocked over to Rivera. His pass able to be reeled in by West impressively. Raines. There's West, puts up a 3, and it's a brick.
And Union has tightened up their defense a little bit the last couple of minutes. We saw Middlesex get off to a strong start. Union, even though they have continued to struggle from around the perimeter, their defense has started to tighten, and Middlesex is having difficulty getting the ball inside. They really haven't gone to the bucket too much. They haven't been attacking that rim. Could be because of the size advantage that that Union County, I should say, has inside.
Akingbala. His three-pointer won't go, and it's rebounded by Raines.
But then you see Union County almost kind of do the same thing on that possession. I don't understand, if you're the Owls, why you're not trying to get the ball into Jordan Rowley or to O'Calley, 2 of your bigs downstairs who have played very well.
Crawford, not that time. Rowley the rebound. Burno picks it up. Now Burno makes his move to the basket. He gets the floater. And a quick timeout, David Turco and the Blue Colts. Let's watch Burno go to work here. He is one of the best, getting to the rim. First timeout on the floor, it's a 30-second stoppage.
And I like that play much better for Union County, trying to attack the rim and go inside. Threes are great, but they're only great when they go in and they drop. If they don't drop, you got to try something different. And for Union County to have such an advantage inside, with players like Rowley and McCombs and Burno and even O'Calley, who's a big body downstairs, very athletic, you've got to get that ball inside so you can try to give yourself an opportunity to make some plays. That's how Union County played so well yesterday against the Roadrunners, because they utilized the paint and were able to get a lot of points in there. I haven't seen that so far, possibly an adjustment that Coach Henderson is going to have to make in the timeout.
It's Middlesex ball. There have only been 3 fouls to this point so far. In fact, no free throws.
Well, to even further that point, they've all been against Union County. Middlesex has yet to commit a personal foul.
Raines sets up the offense. Crawford with Simmons on him. Crawford's been a threat. Rivera fakes. Crawford, a 3. Yes! Just has such a smooth stroke for a big man, 6'6". And he has been a difference maker in the first half. Middlesex leads it by 5. Burno unable to hit. Burno, there was a collision, couldn't get the rebound. Crawford has it picked away, and now the Owls with a 2-on-1. Simmons to Rowley, and he lays it in.
And that's what makes Union County so dangerous. Look how fast they were able to turn that around and get up the floor for the bucket.
19-16. West cut off by Akingbala. Work it around. Knocked around. Saved by Akingbala, and Union's got it. McCombs weaving through. Burno inside for Simmons.
There you go.
Rowley puts it home.
And that's exactly what you want to do. You saw Burno. He could have taken that three, but instead he tried to force it inside. He got it to the right man in Rowley, and Union now is within one.
Tight game, Region 19 championship. Middlesex by 1. The Union faithful making some noise now. 10 to shoot. Rivera inside, Santil in a crowd. He missed it. And the rebound collected by Rowley. Ahead is Burno. Goes right at Rivera. Bank shot goes down.
You just see the athleticism there by Burno. That was a tough shot. Just happened to get it to drop over Rivera. Middlesex now needs to get a bucket to try to calm themselves down on offense.
Union has their first lead. Rivera sets the screen. And there's a foul called. It's on the Owls. They got a push. It's on McCombs, and that's his second. He's coming out of the game. Trevon Bleasdale returns.
And if there's one thing that Union County has hurt themselves more with in the first half, it's been fouls. They've committed these silly fouls. That's 4 now on the team, and while they're not going to impact you so much in the first half, that could come down the line late in the game if this game is close to hurt you.
And Middlesex has yet to commit one. Rowley grabs hold of it. Shot clock doesn't reset. Bleasdale thought about a bomb. Simmons in the lane with a shot. Rimming, no. He's got his own rebound, and he's fouled. And there is the first foul committed by the Blue Colts, and the first free throws of the game belong to Union and Jared Simmons.
And again, we see this time on this possession. Union has an opportunity to take a three. They think better of it. They force the ball inside, and they go to the line. That's something that Middlesex, I think, has to do a little bit better job of on the defensive end, knowing that's where Union County is going to go. And when they have the ball on offense, I'd like to see them get inside and try to get it to Crawford. He's been the guy with the hot hand for Middlesex.
1 out of 2 for Simmons. Union showing some press here. Akingbala pressuring Raines. West one-on-one with Santil. Around the perimeter it goes. Rivera looking. Hands it off for Santil with 6 to shoot. Enter the post. Crawford with 3. And it's an offensive foul.
Well, Middlesex did give it to Crawford, but it came way too late. They were passing the ball around the perimeter. Credit Union's defense. They have gone man-to-man, Brian, and for some reason, Middlesex is having a lot of difficulty getting the ball into the paint. You saw Rivera there at the top of the key just standing around looking for someone to move. No one was moving that time for Middlesex.
Throw it inside for Simmons. He lays it in. And he was able to create some space down near the basket. And Union's going on a run here. West comes back with a floater.
Yeah, and Middlesex definitely needed that. Latrell West, we talked about him in the last game. He's such a special player. He's got that ability to come down the floor, and he doesn't even really have to set his feet. That's how good of a shooter he is.
Averaging over 23 points a game, the lead the Blue Colts. Union by 3, Akingbala for 3. And rebound Rivera.
Ooh.
Collision in the backcourt. West taking it to the rim. Foul called on the pass. Is the 5th charge to the Owls of the half.
And you were talking about West a moment ago, Brian. He's a player that's actually been fairly quiet for his standards in this first half. We really haven't talked about him a whole lot. To me, that tells me he's not getting the ball enough if you're the Colts.
Crawford's been the leading scorer for Middlesex thus far. Rivera, he knocks it down. Bleasdale is rejected, but there's a foul! Oh, Crawford jumping up and down, has to be settled down by his teammates. It looked like a clear rejection. Not only that, but the call came late, and it's going to be 3 free throws.
It's tough to tell from that angle. I thought that was a clean block too, Brian, but you're right. That's a big foul on Crawford because now that's his second. And the question now for Coach Turco is whether or not he'll pull Crawford out of the game to sit for the rest of the first half, or if he'll keep him in there.
First one is good. Substitution for the Blue Colts. And it's Vincent Montgomery, who looks like he came in, but he didn't.
Well, they have
He's
to
back
wait.
at the scores table.
They have to wait till after this foul shot.
Second one short, one more coming for Bleasdale. Now he comes in and he replaces Crawford.
Can't make a substitution until after the second foul shot if it's a 3. And that's why the officials kind of held off Crawford from leaving the game just yet.
And now Jason O'Calley for the Owls in for Simmons. Bleasdale, the sophomore from Irvington, but there's a delay before the third attempt. Some maintenance on the court. And he makes only 1 out of 3. That's 33% for those scoring. And a steal, and there's no one back for the Blue Colts. Going in uncontested is Burno.
Middlesex has seen this game the last several minutes kind of fall apart for them. They had a lead. They allowed Union County to get back in. I talked about the opportunities that they were leaving on the table. Union was able to capitalize on that. They now have caught back up. They've taken the lead. And for the Colts, I don't really see anything on offense that's exciting me so far. They've really have struggled to match the aggressiveness that Union County has had inside the paint when they've got the ball on offense.
And now Middlesex uses a timeout. Couldn't get a clean inbounds in. And so we have 4:17 remaining, another 30-second stoppage. Only 2 timeouts taken thus far. They both have been of the 30-second variety, as you see Middlesex huddled up there with David Turco, who you've talked about, Tim, as a high school coach, coaching some pretty supreme talents that have made the NBA ranks, like Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, he's got Karl Anthony Towns, who was a former player of his. Also, Wade Baldwin IV, who we talked about yesterday, is trying to get back on the Toronto Raptors roster. But those 2 players, and he has coached a lot in the greater Middlesex Conference area. I mean, in the GMC, on the high school level, coached at Carteret, South Brunswick, St. Joe's, and Metuchen, won multiple championships, multiple titles. So he is a very good find if you're Middlesex County College as far as your men's basketball program, because we've talked about the struggles that they have had, the subpar seasons the last several years. This is the first time in a very long time that Middlesex actually has got a program where they think they're headed in the right direction.
It's Union by 4, 27-23. Latrell West unable to hit, and the rebound to Burno. Burno starts the break, bounce it for Akingbala. He gets inside, layup, no. Rally the offensive rebound, off the glass, won't go. Tries again and succeeds.
Just not a very good job by Middlesex boxing out underneath. Rowley really didn't have to move very much. Nobody backed him out. There were bodies underneath, but again, that's not enough. You have to back the guy out of the paint so you can get that rebound. Colts just not doing a very good job underneath the basket that time.
West. Bleasdale defending him. West tries another floater. It's off the front rim. And another rebound for Rowley. A pass I think was intended for Rowley, but it went in the area of O'Calley, and it turns into a turnover anyway. Rains a fake. Rivera for two. Rimming no good. Kept alive by Montgomery, but into the hands of Akingbala. He's coming 1-on-3. Lefty layup misses. Rivera pulls down the rebound. And now the Blue Colts slow things down. Rain stopping and starting. Santil, he's got it. It's a three. Cameron Santil on the money.
And that was a much-needed bucket for the Middlesex County Colts because they had gone cold really from all over, from behind the arc, from inside the paint area, so that was a much-needed bucket by Santil.
3-point game. Bleasdale, long three. And West up for the rebound. Bleasdale draws the assignment. West blows by him. Oh, he tried to throw it down. He couldn't. Santil fakes, steps into a two-pointer. No good. Offensive rebound. West picked away. And Rowley's got it for the Owls.
And West tried to force that throwdown. He didn't have to. He had two guys on him. That would have been better if I was West to try to back the ball out.
Burno can't convert. Santil dribbles out of a crowd. 3-on-2 developing. Benson inside. Rains the reverse finish. A minute and a half to go. Union by 1. The winner wins the Region 19 today. Bleasdale gives up his dribble, shot clock's at 5, and it's a turnover. West crossing over, and he lays it in.
And that's
Timeout Owls.
Just wasn't a very good way executing on offense that time for Union County. They had Jordan Rowley posting up against Vincent Montgomery. He had position for several seconds. They could have given it to him, but they didn't, and then that led to the turnover at the other end, which is a point for Middlesex. They retake the lead. That's something that if you're Union County, you've got to be a little smarter of. Your advantage is inside, not along the perimeter. When you have a mismatch, especially with someone like Rowley at 6'9", when he's open, you've got to give him the ball. They didn't do that, and I think that's why Coach Henderson took that timeout.
A reminder that our broadcast is brought to you by Joyce's Subs and Pizza, and they are located at 655 Newman Springs Road in Lincroft, and available online, joycesubsandpizza.com. Championship Sunday here on Brookdale TV. If you were with us earlier, you know that Passaic won the women's title, knocking off hometown Brookdale. Disappointing loss for the Jersey Blues, but a strong year all in all for them. And the winner advances to the national tournament, which will be played on the campus of Northampton. Burno. And Rowley just keeps getting the offensive rebounds. There's not a lot of answers for him at 6'9".
And again, it's the same story for Middlesex. You just have to do a little bit better job boxing out. You have bodies underneath, but no one's backing players like Rowley or Bleasdale or even O'Calley out of the paint. You've got to get them out of the way so you get a chance at that ball.
And it's picked up by the Owls, and Burno, he has Rowley with him, and he threw it away. A fast break that went awry for Union. And the shot clock is now no longer a factor. Middlesex can hold for one if they choose. Team's getting organized. Santil, the inbounder. Overhead pass for Rivera. Rivera backing up with 10.
Middlesex better start moving here. They're taking way too much time.
With 5, it's West. West is double teamed and he is fouled.
And West got bailed out there because he was in a situation where he was in the corner. He had two bodies on him. There was no way, even with all his athleticism, he was going to be able to get around those two and get to the bucket in time. So that was a bailout foul committed by Union. And again, once again, the Owls in a situation where these silly fouls are costing them.
And West will get another attempt. There's 3.2 seconds remaining first half. A game about as evenly matched as you would have expected. West trying to give the Blue Colts the lead. Second attempt. It's no good. Can Union get a shot away? With 1 second, they do not. That will not have counted. The try from Akingbala, it goes over the glass anyway. And at the half, Region 19 championship game, Middlesex and Union, they are all square at 31 apiece. And we'll get set to welcome you back inside the booth with Brian Gardsford and Tim Catalfamo. And Tim, I think this probably is what we would have expected. I mean, Union is a team we talked about. The record not indicative of how good this team is. And you just sense they're on such a run right now. They're playing with such confidence that it doesn't matter who the opponent is. Even a team like Middlesex, who's number 2, they're not fazed.
No, they're not fazed, and they certainly have played very well. They have hurt themselves, I mentioned a moment ago, with fouls, but to their credit, they have been able to stay toe-to-toe with Middlesex, and at times the Colts have had trouble matching their tempo. That's not really their game, but they've had difficulty matching that tempo and slowing the pace of the game down. However, I will give Middlesex credit. The last couple of minutes, they put together a couple of good possessions. They got the ball inside. Latrell West made a couple of nice plays. Rivera also performed well. Santil had that 3 that kind of jump-started that run that Middlesex had to get back in the ball game. So they're playing well, but the thing that concerns me if I'm Middlesex is I'm not really getting that many points in the paint, and that's where Union definitely has an advantage. If I'm Coach Henderson, I'm thinking that's where I'm going to win this game. If I'm Coach Turco, I'm thinking that's how I'm going to have to beat Union in the second half. I'm going to have to get my bigs involved somehow downstairs.
So the winner of the second half will win the game because right now we are tied at 31 apiece. Tim and I come back on the other side of the break. It'll be the second half of the Region 19 men's title game. You're watching it right here on Brookdale TV. Back inside the Collins Arena, getting ready to start the second half. Brian Gardsford, Tim Catalfamo back here with you. Union and Middlesex are all tied up at 31 at the break. And Tim, as you look ahead to the second half, what do you suppose could be the difference maker?
Well, I really do think the difference in the second half is going to be which team is going to be able to get the ball in the paint, which team is going to be able to execute. We saw Union in the first half utilize that. We didn't really see that too much out of Middlesex, but that's really where they're going to have to go. They're going to have to try to take advantage of how many team fouls Union County has against them from the first half. So I really do think whoever's going to win this game is going to win inside. I don't think it's going to come down to perimeter shooting. That's not really where these two teams' strengths are. They can shoot threes, but that's not really where your strengths are. You've got to go inside the paint.
Second half is underway. Blue Colts open up with possession. Rivera. Pass slapped out of bounds. It's caught there on the bench. And the Blue Colts will trigger in.
And the other thing I'm going to be watching in the second half, Brian, is will Middlesex be able to utilize Latrell West in a way that we didn't really see in the first half? He was unusually quiet, along with Elmer Rivera. He was also very quiet in the first half. So see if Middlesex can somehow get those two involved in the game. Almost had West, right as I was talking about him, knocked down a 3 as he's getting fouled.
So West to the line. You see that left hand is wrapped up there. I presume that injury took place in the first half of this game. And so West now at the line. The foul is on Burno. It's his second. Not even a half minute in, Union picks up their first, and West hits the first one.
And you look at how many fouls I talked about a moment ago in the first half that Union County had against them. Now that's starting to come back to bite them because Burno, now he's got 2 fouls. I believe Bleasdale also as well has got 2 personal fouls, if I'm not mistaken. So those are players that you don't want to get into foul trouble, especially in a tight game like this. You need them on the floor.
Burno splitting through, shot short, follows it up, tough shot, doesn't go, and it's rebounded by Rivera. West kicks it back out. Here is Crawford, unable to connect, and West saves it, but into the hands of McCombs. Handed off. Najee Plunkett is in to start the half. Rally, good position, left it short, and the rebound Rivera.
That was just good defense by Rivera. He didn't move, didn't really have to body up against Rowley. Let him shoot. If he's going to make it, great. Not really much I can do. He's got position. Just Rowley just didn't make the shot.
Cutting is West, knocked out of bounds off Burno. 13 to shoot for Middlesex. They'll have it underneath.
Nice job by Burno getting back on defense. Union still sticking with this man-to-man.
Bounce it in for Crawford. And an offensive foul. It was away from the ball, and it's on the Blue Colts. It's their first of the second half.
That was on Rivera. I didn't see what happened, but that's certainly not what you want to do on offense away from the ball.
Jerry Henderson calling out signals on the Union bench. These two teams met twice during the regular season and split those matchups, each team winning on the opponent's home floor. This one, though, the game that matters the most.
And you know what was funny about that on that point? I talked to Coach Turco about that game that they actually played at Union County, and they won that game, and I asked him what was the reasoning behind that. He said because he feels his team played better because the Union County floor is a lot smaller compared to a big arena like this in the Collins Arena. For some reason, he feels like his team plays better in smaller quarters.
Burno able to bank in the last Union shot. Ten to shoot now. St. Teal, Crawford, one-on-one. He makes his move to the basket. Wild shot, misses. And Rowley gets the rebound. Crawford going for the reverse finish. That's a reach-in. It's on St. Teal on McCombs. So for St. Teal, his second personal.
Now you're starting to see Middlesex add up with fouls. That's the second on Santil, and that's a foul that you really don't need to commit, Brian. That's just a silly foul that goes against you that later on will bite you.
All in one motion, Rowley couldn't finish, and West guides it over to Raines. Raines has it stripped away. It's McCombs. McCombs to the basket, layup, and he's going to the line.
Combs is someone that has had a fairly quiet afternoon. We really haven't talked about him that much, but he comes up with the quick hands here on defense and then comes down at the other end, realizes that Middlesex isn't really set, takes it to the rim and gets fouled.
McCombs, who started 28 games during the regular season, the Staten Island, New York native, and he's got the first one. It's a Union team that has a good mix of freshmen and sophomores. 5 freshmen on the roster. 5 of each, as a matter of fact, so it's very much a balanced group. They work with a 1-point lead after the 1 out of 2 from the line. Here is West, too strong, and Rowley able to guide the rebound to himself. High screen O'Calley. Plunkett off the glass, no. And tipped over for the rebound to St. Teal. Bounce it for West. West, it goes and one. And was that a technical foul assessed after the layup? So to make matters worse for Middlesex, it's a three-point play, and then they assess a technical on West. Or was it on West, or was it on?
No, the technical foul is on West.
So he must have taunted after the bucket.
That's inexcusable. I mean, I understand that you're fired up, but if you turn and you look at the guy that fouled you and you say something, why? I mean, there's no reason for that, and now you take away all momentum that you possibly could use from that bucket and squander it.
And Burno able to make the first. So before West can try to complete the three-point play, you have to watch Burno shoot free throws for Union.
And those are 2 makes from the foul line, and if this game gets close, Middlesex will think back to that opportunity where you didn't need to do it, but you made the foul anyway, and you gave up basically 2 free points for Union at the other end.
So now West gets his chance. Very talented freshman out of New Brunswick, New Jersey. This completing his last bucket, and he's able to. And the game tied at 36. We were tied at the break. Each team has scored 5 here in the second half. As Rowley missed it short. And rebound secured by Crawford. Rivera. Down to 10 to shoot. Reigns one-on-one. Crawford stripped of the ball. And here comes McCombs with Burno. Acrobatic layup is rebounded by West.
There was some contact there, no call.
Crawford fakes. Tippin doesn't go. And Plunkett for the Owls. McCombs, that's a reach-in. West was in the area, and for Middlesex, it's team foul number 5.
And see, now that's the 3rd foul on Latrell West. So you have the technical foul. That's a mistake that you make after you make the bucket that was not necessary, and then you pick up a foul here. That's 3.
Corner pop, it goes. Tyheem Burno. Good execution on the out-of-bounds play.
We talked about at the beginning of the second half, if Latrell West was going to get involved, you've got to be able to have that player with his athleticism on the floor, but because he's running into foul issues, that could pay dividends for Union County later on in the game.
Rivera, no good. Union is running. McCombs stops for 3. And a rebound Reigns. Rivera's out of the floor. Santil takes it himself and lays it in. Timeout, Middlesex.
Just nice job by Santil in transition. He could have given the ball up to Rivera. It's a 50-50 play there with the opportunity to either give it off to your teammate or keep it yourself, but nice job, and now Middlesex is within 1.
Full timeout on the floor, 15:06 to play in the Region 19 Championship. We'll take a break here on Brookdale TV.
A consistent level of teaching and service throughout the entire college.
Students are now earning their Rutgers bachelor's degrees at Brookdale Community College's flagship campus.
Brookdale Community College. You are the future. Welcome.
Brian Goudsword, Tim Catalfamo, the rest of our Brookdale TV crew with you today and all weekend long as we have been here on Brookdale TV for the Region 19 tournament. Semifinal games yesterday, championship games today. Passaic knows they are on to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, where they will compete in the Nationals after knocking off Brookdale in the first game earlier this afternoon. This game tight throughout. It's Union by 1. They have possession. 5 minutes gone in the second half as McCombs, oh, he got it to go. Acrobatic shot.
And just not a very good job by Middlesex. They're collapsing in the zone. You allowed McCombs to have a wide open lane in the paint. Nobody really picked him up. Crawford tried, but it was already too late at that point. Smart play by McCombs.
Raines, he throws it up at the rim. The follow by Santil, +1.
And how about Cameron Santil's play? He's in the starting lineup, played very well yesterday afternoon, and then in today's game is really stepping up when some of the other players that maybe on paper can score a lot of points and are the more talked about players like Latrell West or Deontay Crawford. He's been able to step into that role and play extremely well. I've been very impressed by Santil.
The sophomore from Piscataway. This game is even again. Here's McCombs, and he's way off the mark on a 3, and on air balls, the benches are letting him know about it. Middlesex trying to regain the lead. Inside for Crawford against Rowley, tipped up in the air, tipped again, and brought down by McCombs, and he's tripped up. Foul committed by Santil, or was it Raines?
I think they're going to get Raines.
It is. It's his first. 6th on Middlesex. McCombs is down to 12 to shoot as Burno is stripped, and back the other way they come, the Blue Colts with a 2-on-1, and West, oh, he is just so tough to stop in transition. Burno leaning in, and he'll go to the line.
So nice basket by West on the other end, but then you have Middlesex having trouble getting back on defense, and transition defense has led to, or poor transition defense I should say, has led to a lot of buckets for Union County in this game. Classic example there is Burno immediately after the shot coming down the floor, really having nobody hold him up until he gets towards the paint. A foul is committed, and then he goes to the foul line. So Middlesex, they're doing a nice job keeping pace with Union County in the second half, but you've got to get back on defense and do a little bit better job in transition.
1 out of 2. (43-42), Middlesex leads it. This game has been separated by about a point for quite some time now as Raines creating space, he knocks it down. A 3-ball for Raines. Seven minutes gone in the second half. McCombs loses it, and the loose ball's picked up by West. West gliding in for the finger roll. And he's fired up. I think that's what got him the tee a little too fired up a few moments ago.
Yeah, but the last couple of minutes, he started to really step up the tempo, and Middlesex, you can see, is playing with a lot more energy.
The miss by Bleasdale, picked up by Burno, out to the corner. Bleasdale tries again, no good, and it's rebounded by Rivera. There was just a burst of noise in the Collins Arena. This crowd is into it. Middlesex on a run of late. They've opened up a 6-point lead. West into the lane, layup is good.
And it took a while for West to wake up, but now that he has started to get more confident, now you're really starting to see how dangerous he can be.
Burno drives in, contact, missed the shot, and the rebound secured by Santil, but then a tie-up with Burno. And Burno, with his efforts, gives the Owls a possession here. Jared Simmons checks in. O'Calley sits. Inbounder McCombs. McCombs fakes out Rivera. Back out to the perimeter. 3 on the way. No good. The try from Burno. And this will be another jump ball, and this time the Blue Colts will win it.
And it's not like Union County is necessarily doing anything wrong on offense. The shots just are not going in, and they're getting beat on the defensive end where players like Latrell West are just being able to go in the paint at will and score, something that you didn't see in the first half.
Union lines up with some press here in the back court. Rivera eases across. Rivera calling out a play. Rowley watching. Rivera. And no shot. They call a foul on the floor on Union. That's number 3 on Jordan Rowley.
That's a big personal for Rowley because I don't think Coach Henderson is going to pull him out of the game, but he's now going to have to be more conscientious of the fact that he's got 3 personal fouls.
Middlesex in the midst of an 8-0 run. Make it 10-0. In for Crawford for the quick score. Largest lead of the game now. Union hoping to bounce back. 11 minutes to play in their season. Burno on the drive, gets it to go.
And Union needed that just to somehow settle down. They've tried to drive the ball inside and get the post area working for them on offense. The shots have not gone down. They've gone cold, and Middlesex has been able to capitalize.
Now it's a 4-on-1 for Rowley, who finishes. A burst from the Owls.
Really impressed by Rowley. He could have gone right at Rivera there, but instead took a couple of dribbles, went to the other side of the rim, and laid it in.
And a steal and then a blocking foul on Raines. McCombs got the steal. It's Union basketball, and it's the 8th team foul on the Blue Colts.
And now it's kind of the roles are reversed, so to speak. In the first half, you had Union being the one that was committing a lot of personal fouls and getting themselves into trouble. Now in the second half, you have Middlesex, which are starting to really rack up the amount of fouls that they're having against themselves. That's the 3rd personal foul on Alkeem Raines.
So McCombs in a 1-and-1 will get another attempt. And he's a 76% free throw shooter, the sophomore from Staten Island, New York. Union answering the big run from Middlesex. They've scored the last 5. Rebound West off the missed free throw. Abdullah Neeskins is in for Middlesex for the first time. Nearly a turnover. Scramble for the ball, and it's Union who will have it. So Neeskins, whose name we haven't called, and immediately a miscue.
And credit Union, they were down by 10 a moment ago. They've cut the lead to 5. They're starting to tighten up on defense, and they're creating turnovers.
10 minutes to go now as Burno makes his move, and he's called for steps.
One thing that we saw against Rowan College when Union County played yesterday was some full court pressure. We really haven't seen Union go to that in this game. I'm kind of surprised, but maybe as the game gets closer along and we start winding down, Coach Henderson will go to that press.
Here's Rivera backing in, turnaround shot, doesn't go. And it's rebounded by Burno, dribbles out of a crowd, cross midcourt with it. McCombs toward the basket, a lob, Rowley lays it up and in.
And you just see the speed of Union on offense, how quickly, if given the opportunity, they can score.
7-0 Union run has cut it to 3. Middlesex trying to settle things down. Nieskin circling. Santil calls for the screen. Santil a jumper. And he's fouled, but was it on the jump shot or was it away from the ball?
I think it's on the floor, Brian. I think that was before the shot, if I'm not mistaken.
So it's the 5th on Union. Trevon Bleasdale is back into the game now for Burno.
And that's the 4th on Burno, so he probably is going to be on that bench for a while.
And it's a steal here for McCombs. He looks up the floor, taking it himself, now finds Simmons.
Simmons should have just kept going there. He had position, could have bodied up into Rivera.
And the three-pointer is missed by Akingbala. It's back to Middlesex.
I'm not sure why Simmons decided to back that out. I know that Rivera is a little bit bigger than Simmons by 3 inches, 6'6" compared to 6'3", but try to lean into the guy, maybe get a foul to go your way. You have position. Surprised that Simmons backed that one out.
Here's the acceleration by West, contact, and a foul.
And it seems like every time Middlesex needs a spark or they need something to go their way, when Union County is starting to close in, Latrell West is the player that usually takes the ball in his hands and takes over the game in a sense and tries to get something to go their way.
And he's a usual suspect, being that he is the leading scorer for the Blue Colts. First attempt is good. Jason O'Calley is in, and he replaces Jordan Rowley. West, who averaged better than 23 points per game during the regular year. And he gets the roll, 2 out of 2.
Yeah, West is a player that not only can get it done on offense, but he's really good at giving off the ball. He keeps his head up as he's dribbling. He's 10th in the nation for in the category of assists, so he can give that ball off as well. He's not just a scorer.
McCombs.
Interesting, Middlesex has now gone to a 2-3 zone.
As Bleasdale steps back for 3, short, long rebound to West. He's looking to run with it, finds Santil, stripped and fouled.
And this really has been a game of runs, Brian. Every time Union goes on a run, Middlesex is able to counter and vice versa. There doesn't really ever seem to be some consistency as far as back and forth. It's a close game, but it just seems like it feels like a game of runs where if one team has the momentum, the other team somehow finds a way to get themselves back in the ball game.
Najee Plunkett, a shooting threat, comes in, replaces another shooting threat in Trevon Bleasdale. Second attempt for the sophomore Santil, and he's got a pair. It has been a game of runs, as you mentioned, particularly here in the second half. Middlesex is back in front by 7. McCombs defended by Rivera. Plunkett double teamed, backs out with it. Down to 12 to shoot. McCombs dribbling, fakes, throws it cross court. Open look, but there's a whistle and it's going the other way on an offensive foul. Jerry Henderson is frustrated. Rivera, big man handling on the perimeter. Jumper over O'Calley, short, tipped, up in the air, and over to Simmons. Simmons to the basket, racing for the layup. Blue Colts lead. They're represented by blues on our scoreboard. And that's a foul. Once again, it comes away from the ball on the Owls, and that is their 9th.
And that's the 4th on Akambala. So you look at how many players are in foul trouble. Tahim Burno, who actually checks into the game, he went to the bench originally with 4 fouls. Now Akambala's got 4 fouls, so those fouls that Union County had at the beginning of the game in the first half are now starting to add up.
So West will get another attempt on the 1-and-1. And he's got it. Simmons finds O'Calley for 2. Nice work.
And I've kind of been waiting for that play to happen for Union County the last several minutes. They've got the size, and the way that Middlesex is playing a 2-3 zone, the way you beat that is you get the ball in the paint and then you try to go to the rim. You have options at that point. Nice job executing that time.
And they work it to Raines. Crawford, quiet of late. Raines circles into the paint, puts up a shot, it's good.
2 players that I've really been impressed by this afternoon, Brian. Alkeem Raines and Cameron Santil, someone you don't really talk too much about, but they have played incredibly well.
Blocking foul is called, and Raines needs some restraint because he thought he drew an offensive foul. McCombs just bowled him over.
Yeah, it's a foul that probably could go either way, but for Raines, now that's his 4th, so Middlesex also is in some foul trouble.
So the Union point guard back to the free throw line. And a 1-and-1, and he'll get another. Change for Middlesex. And it is Abdullah Neeskins in. And he gets the roll, 2 out of 2. Middlesex with a 60-55 lead. 6.5 minutes to go. Region 19 championship game. Winner moves on to the Nationals to be played at Northampton the middle part of March. Hard-fought battle so far between the number 2 and number 4 seeds. Shot clock's down to 7. West makes his move. Misses. Out of bounds. Middlesex will have it, but with 3 seconds to get a shot away.
And the one thing that you don't want to do here for Union, you've let that clock go down to 3 seconds. You don't want to commit a foul and bail Middlesex out here.
Rivera rims out, and Simmons has the rebound. Burno pops, and he connects. Tahim Burno, a transition 3-pointer. Game tight, 2-point game. Neeskins is fouled on a reach-in. Both teams are about to be in the double bonus. Middlesex already is, with Union just picking up team foul number 10. The Blue Colts have been charged with 9. Freshman Neeskins at the line for the first time. No good. Middlesex has won their last 9 in a row. Tournament wins over Philadelphia and Cumberland.
Those are 2 big misses from the foul line by Neeskins, Brian. In a tight game like this, you just can't leave that amount of points on the table. That's a shame for Neeskins, a player that hasn't really played too much in this game, but you've got to make those foul shots.
We know all about key missed free throws in watching the women's title earlier, where Brookdale had major problems. Down to 6 to shoot. Open in the corner. And no good. The rebound is to St. Teal. The shot went up from Plunkett. Middlesex looking to run with it. Crawford had the hot hand early. He's been silent of late. Now he's posting up. Contact, no call, and O'Callaghan comes away with it. Crawford couldn't believe there wasn't a foul. Burno got the defender in the air, and he lays it up and in. We are tied at 60.
And credit Union County. Remember, they were down by 10 not too long ago. They've slowly and methodically clawed their way back into the game.
And is that a 10-second call? It is. West couldn't get it across in time.
Wow.
And he comes out. Or no, that's not West. That's Neeskins, who's out of the game.
Just have got to be a little bit smarter than that. I know with the crowd noise and everything, sometimes you get distracted and caught up in the moment, but you've got to be looking at that shot clock and realize I've got to get this ball across midcourt.
McCombs, it won't go. Offensive rebound, Rowley back outside, and a reset of the shot clock for the Owls.
Good box out that time by the Owls.
Burno turning the corner, roaming baseline, throws it away, picked up by West behind the back with it. Dribbled it off his foot, kept alive by the Blue Colts. Rivera thought about it, and a foul called, and it almost looked like Rivera more than anything else who knocked over Raines.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I agree with that completely. It did look like there was some contact between Simmons and Raines, but it was almost kind of inadvertently. And I do agree with you, Brian. It almost looked like Rivera was the one that tripped up Raines in the first place, but now Raines is at the foul line for 2.
The freshman from Plainsfield. One more attempt coming up as Raines looks to untie it. And he does. 61-60. Blue Colts with the edge. 4 minutes to play. Simmons and McCombs. Shot clock's down to 8. Simmons into the paint, gives it back out to the perimeter. Down to 3 to shoot. Burno for Simmons inside and gets it to go. And a timeout is taken by the Owls.
And I almost thought Simmons gave away that possession. He drove in originally to the paint. There was nobody around him. He backed it out, but he got the ball back, and he makes a nice play at the bucket.
And a full timeout on the floor. We'll step aside here on Brookdale TV. 3:31 remaining. You're watching the Region 19 Championship on Brookdale TV. Back here on Brookdale TV. What a game this has been. Both games today, if you've been joining us, you've seen highly entertaining basketball. With the women's game a nail-biter all the way through, and this one following suit. It's the number 4 seed Union trying to keep up this magical season. Oh, beautiful move, Latrell West. He is just so fun to watch. Blue Colts are back in the lead. It's 63-62. Long 3. Oh, Barno got it. What a shot.
I was about to say the same thing. What a shot. Unbelievable.
Crawford in the post. Straight to the ball and scooped up by Rowley. Owls will slow it down and walk it across midcourt with Burno.
And that's a big 3 because it now gives Union a little bit of a cushion over Middlesex. They can take a little bit more time in this possession. They don't have to rush up a shot. They have to work for a good shot, but that was a huge bucket by Burno.
Screen Simmons. McComb splitting through with 5 to shoot. Simmons in the paint, doesn't get the roll. And Rivera able to keep it alive. And back the other way, the blue Colts led by West. Pull up jump. It rims off. And then ripping it away is Najee Plunkett. It's Owl basketball. Burno moves in. Plunkett inside the arc. No good. Tip back out, second chance opportunity.
I tell you what, I have been so impressed in this game by Union's commitment to trying to grab offensive rebounds. Even if you don't get the rebound, tip it out. You have more of a likelihood that one of your teammates is going to grab it. Incredible job, incredible effort downstairs by the Owls for the entire 40 minutes.
Middlesex fans chant of defense. 8 to shoot for the Owls in a 2-point game. That's kicked.
And that's unfortunate there because the shot clock was down as you look at that last three by Burno that was practically at midcourt. But that's unfortunate that that's a kick ball on Raines because that resets the shot clock to 20. It was down to about 8 or 9 seconds. So Union catches a little bit of a break there. Even more time now that they can take to come off the clock.
They lead by 2. A minute and a half to play in this championship game. Just holding is Burno. 6 to shoot. Burno toward the basket. Tough shot off the glass, off the rim. And the rebound is to Crawford. It was well contested. And now Middlesex can tie or take the lead. And David Turco wants to ensure his team has a good play set right here. It is a full timeout, and with 1:09 remaining, we'll take a break here on Brookdale TV. A minute 9 to play. It's Union holding on, 65-63. They lead Middlesex. Union looking for their first ever Region 19 championship, a tournament that goes back as far as 2003. Middlesex won it once. That was 11 years ago, back in 2008. The score has been close throughout. Backtracking is Crawford. We're now under a minute to play. Shot clock inside, 10 seconds. Rivera driving, a floater, short, offensive rebound. West couldn't put it in, but there's a foul. And it looks to be on Union. There's bodies on the floor, and one of them is West, who was shaken up as he took a spill after that missed layup. And David Turco looks on with concern.
Yeah, this is a good call by the officials. That was a little bit late. That's clearly a foul there. Ooh, he got fallen onto by Jordan Rowley.
That is rough as he is being assisted toward the bench. And if he can't return,
that's big.
Bad news. And I'm walking with a noticeable limp. The freshman sensation, Latrell West. Who's the go-to scorer for Middlesex. I think he's going to try to tough this one out, though. David Turco getting an explanation. Each coach is chatting with an official.
Well, I think they're just trying to figure out who the foul is on. I don't think the officials would call a flagrant foul in this case because it was inadvertent contact, but the more that they're discussing, the more that's making me think that that's what's going to be called, which I'm not quite sure if I agree with. I mean, Rowley did fall on top of West, but it wasn't like it was a deliberate foul. And that wasn't even the reason why the whistle was called. The foul was way before then. That was just after the play when everyone was falling down.
Nice crowd on hand. Looks like every seat is full in that shot.
We know that Union County travels well. Middlesex has also gotten their act together. A lot of fans come down to watch them play as well.
At the line is Raines. His first one, it is good.
I'm surprised that Middlesex doesn't have anybody on the line here. I guess Coach Turco likes his chances better, even if Raines misses this, for his team to come down and play defense and try instead of trying to get an offensive rebound.
Second attempt, tie game. As Wes continues to be looked at near the Middlesex bench, and he looks like he is set to check in next. Dead ball. And a timeout. Jerry Henderson and Union are going to take one. Full timeout. We'll take another break here on Brookdale TV. And the final minute of play, Region 19 championship game on Brookdale TV. The scoreboard says it all. 65-65, Middlesex and Union in this Region 19 title game. Remember, at one point in the second half, Middlesex had taken a 10-point lead, but that quickly disintegrated as Union was able to have an answer for that run of their own.
It's a crucial possession for Union, Brian, because you've got to get some type of points here. I feel like if you don't get anything and you come away empty, you open yourself up to being in double trouble, because not only then do you probably have to foul if Middlesex scores, but then you give Middlesex the final shot.
Simmons, he scores! The game untied. Union leads. Shot clock turned off. 67-65. The crowd is on their feet. Crawford for three, short, and Rowley, it'll be a jump ball. It remains with Middlesex. And a timeout with 11 1/10 seconds remaining. I mean, you can't say enough about this game, the action that we've seen back and forth, and you just have to come away so impressed with Union that in games of this magnitude, they not only show up, but they play as though they are as good as the elite teams in the region.
Well, I think you could argue that they are, because with how well they've been able to play the last couple of games, and not just the last couple of games in this tournament, but really for the second half of the year, they have played like they are one of the best, if not the best teams in the conference. A lot of people underestimated Union. A lot of people didn't think that they maybe deserved to be ranked fourth in the seeding for the tournament, but they have shown otherwise. And in the case of Middlesex, I just think in this game, at some times they have underestimated how quickly Union can score. Middlesex has done a very good job at keeping the tempo the way that they like it. It's not been an up-tempo game back and forth like we saw the other night with the Roadrunners and the Owls, but still, Middlesex, I think, at times has underestimated how strong Union County can be. In this situation, though, you're down, you've got the ball, you're down by 2, you need some type of a bucket. You don't need a 3, but you need some type of a bucket. In fact, I would even try to get the ball inside, maybe get a bucket and a foul.
11.1 to go. Middlesex is down by 2 with possession outside the timeout. In for Crawford. Crawford looking for space. He got it and one.
Isn't that what I just told you? Try to get the bucket And the foul, Crawford just adjusting, doing a nice job drawing contact.
Deontay Crawford can give his team the lead in the final 10 seconds. It was Simmons who untied it for Union. Crawford reties it, and now Middlesex a chance to take the lead. Back and forth affair. What a title game. Crawford, it's up, it's good! Union will not take a timeout with 8 seconds left. Across midcourt is McCombs. McCombs driving, and he had it knocked out of bounds. There was a lot of contact. It stays with Union with 3.1 to go.
Yeah, I thought that Union had touched it last. Now, the question of whether or not there was a foul or there should have been a foul, I don't know. I'm not going to make that call, but you're right, Brian. There definitely was some contact there as McCombs was going to the basket.
Another timeout, as you might imagine. And coming out of this timeout, let's look at it from a Union perspective here. I mean, you have to figure the ball's going to be in the hands of one of their guards, Burno or McCombs. What's your strategy here offensively?
Well, I mean, there really isn't much. It's a catch-and-shoot situation. You don't have a whole lot of time to really set up a play. It's going to have to be set up before the ball is inbounded. Someone's going to have to set a pick for somebody on the floor so they can get an open look at the basket, and that's your shot. I don't feel that you can try to wait around for a play to develop because you just don't have the time. However, one thing that I will say, where Union County is inbounding the basketball right underneath their own basket, there is a chance that they could get the ball right where the basket is in the post area for a quick two. There's a chance of that. If I'm Middlesex County, I'm going to clog that middle and force Union to beat me farther out from around the perimeter.
68-67. Union down by 1 in the championship game.
Gotta get that ball inbounds.
Inbounds for Simmons. Simmons to the basket. Blocked! And it is over! The Middlesex Blue Colts are the Region 19 champion. One last chance. Simmons put up a shot. It was rejected. Middlesex grabbed control of the ball, and once they did, time expired. Wow.
I tell you what, all I'm going to say is there was a little bit of contact there, a little bit of controversy at the end.
And we'll get set to welcome you back inside the booth for one final time with Brian Garretsford and Tim Catalfamo. And Tim, in a situation like that, from an official standpoint, it has to be egregious contact to call a foul in that situation.
Right, and let's explain something. I mean, that's the reason why the officials more often than not will let the teams play, and I like that. I'm not in any way criticizing what they're doing or the calls that they made on the field or calls they made on the floor, but there was some contact, and the question as an official is, do you call that? Do you let it go? It was a clean rejection, I'll give you that. It wasn't like it was a clear foul, but Union County, in a situation like that, they had a good look. They had as best of a look as they could. It was kind of a collapse on defense for Middlesex. They weren't really set out of that inbounds play, and they almost gave up an easy layup. So, but in the end, Middlesex gets the win, and they have to credit their team down the stretch making foul shots. Union County left a couple of points on the table in the first half, missing some critical foul shots from the line, and then again in the second half. So it's a tough way for the Owls to fall, but in Middlesex case, they're able to survive and they're able to move on against, I think, what personally, in my opinion, was the #1 seed in the Region 19 conference in the Owls.
So once again, the final score, Middlesex survives and they win it in an instant classic here at the Collins Arena, 68-67. They knock off Union. So we'll get set to turn our attention toward the court as the celebration and the award ceremony is now underway.
2019 Division III's champion, the Blue Colts of Middlesex County College. With Coach David Turco and his Blue Colts come forward to receive your award. And now, moving on to the individual award. With 24 points in the championship game, the 2019 Region 19 Division III Tournament Most Valuable Player from Middlesex County College, number 11, Latrell West. And now the 2019 Region 19 Division III Coach of the Year, David Turco. Middlesex County College will now travel to University Center, Rochester, Minnesota to represent Region 19 at the NJCAA Division III National Tournament. Congratulations to both teams on outstanding seasons. On behalf of Region 19 and Brookdale Community College, a thank you to everyone for making this an outstanding event. Once again, thank you, and please do have a safe trip.
And I'm joined here by Latrell West. Latrell, what a game you had, all hurt and bruised up. How'd you do it?
We just stayed together. We stayed as a family. We ran into a rough patch a little bit in the second half, but we fought back. I actually, at that last couple minutes of the play, I had rolled my ankle and then I got trampled over, but I came back in and we were able to finish the game.
And it seemed like someone wanted to pull you off the court and didn't want you to come out, but it seemed like you were very against that. What was the motivation? You wanted to do it for the team, for yourself?
Well, I knew that I got fouled on the shot. I knew we were down 2, and I knew I could make the free throws. So I wanted to get up and wanted to get back into play. I tried not to stay down there so long so they would keep me out the game, but they kept me out anyway. But my teammate was able to finish the 2 free throws, and I was able to get back in. We played defense, and we won the game.
How does it feel?
It feels really good, especially since the last play. I've had a buzzer beater before. I've had last-minute shots, but to have ended on a block as a defensive stop was big. It was big.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
No problem. And I'm Simi Kaur on behalf of BTV. Thank you so much for joining us. Middlesex takes the win, and we will see you guys here next season. Thank you again.